This demo consists of two parts. In Part 1, we will show you how you can jumpstart your journey to SD access, starting with the network you currently have, and then take incremental steps to realize the full benefits. As shown in this diagram, we have a traditional network with older Layer 2 access switches, segmented with VLANs. In such networks, security suffers because of the manual processes. Our first step is to upgrade our core and distribution layer switches to modern SD access compatible ones. We will also add Cisco DNA Center and begin to segment the network using virtual networks or VNs that are automated and scalable, and will start making an SDA fabric. In the next step, we will add our existing access switches to the fabric, reusing the VLAN IDs already defined. We will also add Cisco Identity Services Engine, or ISE. Finally, we will slowly convert our Layer 2 access switches to modern SDA-compatible Layer 3. To show our first step, we will assume that we have upgraded our core and distribution switches, added a DNA center, and created a basic fabric. We will now use the DNA Center to create VNs. We will first create a VN that we'll call IoT VN to secure all of our potentially unsecure IoT devices in our network. Next, we will add the new IoT VN to our fabric, assign all IoT devices to that VN, and reuse the earlier VLAN ID for such devices. Once we do this, we can now seamlessly transport the IoT traffic securely in the fabric with no disruption to users. Our next step is to connect ISE and begin to authenticate and authorize each endpoint. Next, we will replace the Layer 2 access switches with Layer 3 SD access compatible ones. We can do this slowly over time, as called by replacement cycles and our available budget, and maintain full connectivity between the new sections of our network with the old ones. We now have all the pieces we need for a full SD access implementation and are well on our path to Zero Trust security. In Part 2, we'll show you can use your SD access network to complete your journey to Zero Trust security. As you see in this circle, we will first establish trust, then enforce trust, followed by verifying trust so that we can mitigate threats and reduce business risk. First, we will see how SD access identifies and profiles endpoints. As you can see, you get the rich, detailed information about each endpoint, including its name, type, OS, model, manufacturer, etc. With this information, you can tell a CT scan system from an ultrasound imaging system from an IP phone. Next, SD access analyzes the interactions between endpoints that helps us establish our access policies. As you can see, SD access makes it easy to get granular details about every interaction, which we can use to define or refine our access policies. Next, we can enforce these policies using ISE and the infrastructure, using a simple matrix in which we can define these policies. This enforcement further segments our network, increasing the overall security. And finally, we can complete our Zero Trust journey of verifying trust by continuously monitoring endpoints. What you will also notice when you look at the endpoint inventory is an assigned trust score to each endpoint. SD access generates a numerical trust score based on several parameters about that endpoint, such as spoofing, concurrent MAC addresses, security posture, and so on. In examining endpoints with low scores, we see that there is a problem in how they were authenticated, using a MAC address-based mechanism which is inherently insecure. At this point, you can choose to remove the endpoint from the system or quarantine it by applying ANC policy. In summary, SD access makes it easy to start on your Zero Trust journey and take incremental steps to fully implement Zero Trust security. Learn more at cs.co/ztrust.